Welcome everybody, it's Unstoppable Sletzy here, and I got a pretty rare opportunity for you today. So apparently we were going to do a 4 versus 4 treaty, 60 minutes on the Black Forest Nothing map, but somebody disconnected, so you know what I figured I would do? I would basically offer to resign and cast the whole thing for them. So that's what I'm doing now. As you can see, everybody's crowded up in the center of the map. That's because this is outside of the buildable zone during the treaty. And as you see now, they will actually start trying to destroy each other. Except my guys. My guys are basically AFK since I resigned. So, yep, it's a big battle for the center of the map and a rush for the villages on either side to basically start building in this whole entire patch here and start sieging into their area of the forest right over there. As you can see, light cannons will try to blast as much stuff as possible. Culverins trying to blast artillery. Horse artillery wiping out infantry. It's a total chaotic mess. Splash cavalry like the Royal Horsemen are going to do great here. You got the Imperial Dragoons here. Oh yeah, it's a total cluster of a situation. It's pretty big actually. Seems like the Hods are winning out from my team. As well as the Russians still got a stake in there, it looks like. Russians are pushing in with a bunch of infantry, it looks like. Trying to reclaim the center. France is throwing in some Royal Horsemen as well into the mix. And Blue is nowhere to be seen. Blue is actually engaging down here with the enemy on this side, going up against the United States with an army of Dragoons mainly. It's got a fort right here to get some quick units down to the front lines. USA is doing volunteers, Marines, and artillery. Also some regulars are being thrown in as well. Watch out for those mortars. Mortars are indeed one of the best things to use in this map, I would say. You know, walls are not that useful in Black Forest Nothing. They make a total mess of your allies' base, so you really don't try to get them unless you get a good choke point like right here. Unfortunately, I resigned before I could give them my team Cohorn mortars, so they're probably going to be very angry about that, very sad about that actually. Like, man, you could have sent so many cards, but why didn't you send that one? And well, I was about to, and then the lad resigned, so I figured, you know, I'll resign now, I won't do anything else. Leave it at that. So yeah, Russia's going to keep plowing in with Porochiks and whatever sort of Russian infantry they can get through this little corridor of the forest to take the center. Right now, their spam seems to be working. Their French ally is using the grenade launchers to deal some decent splash and crush damage into their line there. That will be particularly good against these mantlets, which have really high pierce armor, so the crush damage will really do a good job at slicing through their planks of wood. Look at all the artillery though. We got French heavy cannons and light cannons. These light cannons, as you know, are pretty beastly of a cannon. You know, they got the properties of a Falk, while also having the properties of a Culverin with anti-artillery multipliers, so they're very hard to dislodge once they're masked up like this. You've seen that all the time when I play Arena, that somebody who can stack light cannons up in, you know, around, what is it, like 6 or 7 or whatever, becomes a real threat. You can see that right here, like all this Russian infantry, they came and get a foothold here because these light cannons just barrage them whenever they come in. This is quite dangerous actually. And then they're sticking mantlets in the front to meat shield all of the damage. I mean, this is a pretty intense push right here. Granted, there's one French culverin right here that could potentially do some damage, right? But on this side, it looks like USA is starting to break through their lines, forcing France to support with some culverins. Mexico's falconets with French culverins will try to defend against its USA player here. Dragoons are going into the base, likely to dislodge as many vills as possible, probably to get a clean snipe of artillery as well. Just a bit of regulars here. Some Royal Dragoons are going to be thrown into the mix as well. Oh, look at that. Look at the spam of the Stradiates from the cantinas there. Very good. Very good choice. That will clean up these Dragoons since there's not a lot of them. And then they can take a charge at the artillery here and try to regain some ground on that side. Does look like Russia is doing a good job by plowing with the Porchiks right into the light cannons. He's trying to do as much maximum melee damage as possible before the light cannons actually shreds them. Seems like they're getting in there pretty good, and they're getting some good angles on them. I mean, look at this, like literally having to train more of the light cannons now, so you can tell it's getting a bit tricky for him to hold this line here. Who knows, maybe they needed me after all. Yeah, I don't think so, but you get the idea. These Porchiks are a serious threat. I mean, not the strongest unit out there, certainly weaker than a halberdier, but when it comes to their spammability, being able to be instantly trained with the Russians' fencing school and dueling school cards, very dangerous threat. Because it doesn't matter how weak they are, there's so many of them coming at you that they're guaranteed to land a few hits and actually do damage no matter what. Whereas with, less slower training, stronger units will obviously get picked off a lot easier by the cans. Porchiks, though, just keep running and running and running and running to the point that you can only have so much artillery and you're not going to be able to stop them from doing damage, which is happening right now. And then when you add a little micro in like that, where you start positioning them a bit more, having them go in between the cannons, and start hitting them in the creases, that is really hard to deal with. I mean, look at this right now. They're literally just plowing in through them, taking them out. And now we do have some French Voltigeurs here. I don't think they're going to do much. They're probably going to be picked off very quickly, but just to show you how dangerous these Porchiks are. On this side, it looks like France is supporting with some hussars to try to counteract the help that Yellow has been providing. However, Mexico has been spamming Highlanders from their cantinas. So these Highlanders are going to be really effective in fending off hussars and pretty tanky overall too. So I mean, it's going to take a bit of damage before they actually go down. Do note that they do cost a bit though, about 200 coins, so you don't want to lose them to hard counters like skirms and artillery if possible. Swiss pikards will be added as well in the back to deal with the hussars trying to squeegee over there through the trees. Right now it seems like a two-front battle, but maybe we'll see something here as well. We might see a third front on this side now. Look at these horse artillery. One way you break through this forest map is basically by using artillery. See, when you fire a cannonball, right, it does actually knock down trees with the projectile. So effectively, if you have a lot of cannons, you can use that as a sort of forest clearing technique, similar to onagers and AoE 2, just a little bit more randomized, right? Because obviously with onagers and siege onagers and AoE 2, the amount of trees you're going to clear is obviously pretty well predicted, but in AoE 3, where the cannonballs might bounce in different directions, depending on what you're targeting, it's kind of unpredictable which trees will actually fall to the cannonball exactly, so it's a bit more randomized, which is kind of fun. You don't want everything to be so predictable all the time. RNG is a very important thing in RTS, I think, to make it more interesting. Yeah, most definitely. So, I don't like the fact that France's culverins there are completely vulnerable, because look at these dragoons just taking advantage of them right now. Especially that leftward batch right there, again, completely sniped. Yeah, that's not good. Definitely not good. I will be making some of the charros, right? Now, these guys don't have multipliers against the light cav, only the heavy cav, which is in other words hand cavalry, so these charros, well, it seems like they're doing alright just because of the numbers, but, in general, yeah, usually not the best thing, but in this case it seems to be working. Alright, Highlanders doing a good job at holding the line here, allowing the Swiss pikes to start sieging away at the barracks. If they can break through this area to the wall, then that would be a major gain of ground, I think. France is... The yellow France, not the red one from this team, is starting to make a front onto this side to break down the French walls and get into the opposing French base, it looks like. Seems like here Mexico is making some good ground, actually able to siege all these buildings, thanks to the Swiss pikards. Also, the culverin support in the back is definitely helping out. Hods are just holding the line. They're not really focused on pushing at this point. Using a combination now of light cannons and forest prowlers to dislodge most of these Porchicks, basically. Yeah, because here's the thing. The forest prowler, being a gunpowder infantry, is going to have a rate of fire of 3. Cannons, rate of fire of 6. So you're going to get about 2 bullets out in the same amount of time you get 1 cannonball out. So it's good to sometimes mix some of the skirms with the artillery, just so you're hitting more and more of these Porchicks, you know. Being a Native American civ, you don't get the best economy, right? You don't get the best economy of, say, France or the civ I was Dutch, so unless you want to keep asking your allies for resources, for tributes and stuff, you're going to want to make sure that you're managing your light cannons effectively, and definitely using the community plaza to boost up the attack as well, and sort of gauging when you need to turn the training speed dance on, and then when you need to turn the attack one on, basically. It's kind of a balancing act, I usually find, you know, whether I need faster training or faster damage. Or stronger damage, I should say, but you get the idea. Looks like Mexico does indeed bust through USA's gate there. I think they will be able to actually at least get to this side here. The artillery will blast down a foundry. Let's see if the Allied culverins can actually deal with the USA's artillery line there. Looks like they do. However, cuirassiers are in the mix now. These things are very unpredictable. They have a lot of HP and splash damage. And even dragoons can fall to them. So we gotta see if they can hold the line here against such strong stuff. Also, looks like grenade launchers are also being added from this France as well, which makes it all the more tricky, actually. Yeah, I mean, look at this, though. The problem is, these grenade troopers have crush damage and splash. So if you're not careful, even though they have a malice against artillery, it's only about half. So if you get enough of these grenadiers across with the splash, they will actually start shredding through artillery from range. So no matter how much you try to protect them with melee units, they will be able to go over their heads and start hitting them. Yeah, it looks like they are starting to lose ground here. Mortars completely blindsided, it looks like. Coming in with Soldados, a very strong 2-pop musketeer, that should do some pretty good damage overall. They do have the refurbished firearms card active. As you can see, they have their charged grenade launcher type attack. Horse artillery, not going to last too long because they even have the Russian Porchicks giving them some support now. So it's really a 3-player effort here all on this front right now. Hods are going to indeed have to start pushing here now to basically get this rush off them, because if you got Russian Porchicks like spamming in the front of these 2 other guys, I don't think Mexico and France can hold out much longer over here, so that's not good. Ford is denied, unfortunately. We'll have to probably do a bit more fighting over here before you can actually get another fort down. All these Falcons trying to just spray off all these Porchicks before they can even hit the real meat, which is the USA and French stuff. Ooh, now Yellow France is doing cuirassiers and trying to take a hit right at the culverins. Yeah, they're not going to be able to get much out of their artillery as long as there's all these culvs right here. It's going to be a total mess. So they gotta use their hand cav and light cav combined to basically deal with this line of culverins so they can get their own artillery across. Now, if you got all these culvs distracted, you actually can use your Falcons to still target these culvs, because they do deal crush damage, which in mass will actually counter the culvs, basically. So that's done. Looks like they salvaged this section. However, Red France is rebuilding in this area, so they do need to stay on top of that. And yep, the CBD is defeated, so that staple will not be finished, and now they can start trying to push back once again now. However, after that little debauchery, Russia is committing to the Hods front once again. Seems like Hods are a little bit split up here this time. As you can see, the Porchicks are getting a much bigger push on them now. Also, they'll be joined by some grenade launchers from their French ally, moving in this direction. Watch the light cans. You're going to probably have to group up somewhere over here and make sure that you're all set. Looks like Yellow France has pulled out of this front. So it's going back to a two-front war at this point. Yeah, watch out. I mean, he's in a situation now where the poor chicks are right up in his face at this point. So he really can't target too well. Now, because wherever he's going, these poor chicks are just thrusting through all of his siege units' HP at this point, you know, because what is he making? He's making mantlets, he's making light cans, things that are known for their pierce armor. Poor chicks and melee units, they don't have pierce armor, they have hack armor, so that's not going to help you too much. And as you can see right now, the poor chicks are getting a really good push here, and now you got French musketeers, grenade launchers, and even a few mortars join them in now, you know. Wonder if these mortars will try to take out that siege workshop and push them to the wall right here. That could be a real serious issue. I mean, they do have another layer of wall here. It's just, you know, something to be aware of. Now, one thing I will say about this HOD player, why did you put your community plaza right here? This is a bad idea. Really bad idea. Why did you put it right here? You should have put it probably somewhere in the back in this area. You know why? Because you know what? One of these guys gets range at this point. They can take a mortar and blast the community plaza, and all your bonuses go away. You know, you're going to have to rebuild it, move all the villages back there. It's going to be a total conundrum. So, I don't know why you put this community plaza right up against that wall right there. Because it's better to be safe than sorry. I mean, you might be in a team where you feel you're confident that that's never going to be a siege you're going to have to deal with, but yeah, it's just a total messy situation overall. So now we got Cuirassiers here trying to use their splash and all this spam. The Teal Russia, feeling confident on their front over here, is starting to help defend this side again. But now they're dealing with some beefy stuff. They're dealing with artillery, soldados, Cuirassiers, and dragoons. So a wide variety of pretty strong units that they have to contend with on this side. Now the mortars are rolling up a bit, it looks like. Yeah, look at that. Look at the poor chicks just pouring in there. That poor chick pouring in. Poor chick. I wonder if there's some sort of grammatical reference to that. It seems like poor chicks are just good at pouring poor chicken into every corner and crevice imaginable. Because look at all those mortars just gone. Taking out that line of Falcons, going after the Coves now. Yeah, it looks like they're pushing in again. And it seems like Red France was trying to make a push by himself. Russia not paying attention to their heavy cans, might lose these things for free. Cuirassiers coming out, trying... Cuirassiers, now that's here you have to watch out for. You know, this whole thing you got right here is not good against those. Voltaguires coming in as well. Got one heavy cannon there targeting the stuff in the front, and it is dispatched. But can he get enough Cuirassiers up here to deal with all this light cannon and actually start pushing on that front and securing it? Yeah. Now, here's a problem. Gatling guns. You know how dangerous these things are. These things are actually deadly. And he does have the upgrades, right, I'm assuming? Yep, he does have the coffee mill gun. So, yeah, these things fire like crazy. These things are insane. Yeah, look at all these Gatling guns like literally lighting up that entire area. Nothing can survive a coffee mill Gatling gun for too long. Nothing, not even the cavalry, you know. Machine guns are one of the few artillery types that's actually decent at cavalry, against cavalry in the long run. So, yeah, take that for some advice. Looks like, yep, Gatlings are pushing. France, Russia, all three teammates are on this front right now. That's what's going on right here. It's pretty crazy. Is we got all three of the teammates committing to this side. So there's more, I would say, manpower and also mental power going into this battle right here. Because you got 3 mines doing the battle instead of just 2. So they could get a bit overwhelming here for Mexico. So they're going to have to put all their all on this side and hope that their French ally will be able to support them. That being said, it does seem like the HODs up here are doing a great job at defending, you know. They lost their initial siege workshop over there, and now another one is being constructed right now. The question is, how long will it stay up? Because it does seem like the French infantry are starting to plow their way towards it. It's a very good chance that that will go down again. And what will we see at that point? Does he have a siege workshop over here? Nope, just war huts. I would get one like right back over here somewhere. You know, because you don't know how long this thing's going to last. You know what I mean? Because you got these French and Russian troops up to this side here. They could very well like do a maneuver and hit on this side and flank it. So you need to make sure you have a backup plan, basically. Gatling guns still holding the line here and starting to spray them with tons and tons of their Gatling bullets. USA mortars also doing a good job at basically trying to neutralize this area and make it more neutral ground. And maybe we're going to see the Red France come in again and start rebuilding over on this side again. Maybe. Now, question is, can they hold this offense, though, with these cuirassiers driving their splash attack into them? This is a totally nasty mess. And we got falconets here doing a pretty good amount of damage to everything. Not just the infantry, but the artillery. And, oh yeah, not the cavalry. Unfortunately, yeah. But anyways, you got the idea, though. Falconets are a great way to push into an area. It's going to get a good volley on these porchicks, I think, which will help out. Yeah. I mean, you could take it either way. I mean, you could take it as this front's going to be more deadly because you got, like, 2 or 3 players participate. Actually, the Red France is pulled out now. The Red France is pulled out. Red France is all the way over here now. What am I saying? It looks like he's all the way over on this side, trying to do an offense himself. He does have, oh wow, look at the battering rams, using the old school Age of Empires 2 tech to basically take out these foundries. Love to see battering rams when they're used, you know. It's kind of your unorthodox type of artillery weapon. Not good against units, but yeah, it's great for bashing down the buildings. Let's see if these mortars can ever get up to the siege workshop and basically get rid of that, because that would be an important milestone, I think, for Red France to actually make any sort of gain on this front. Because as you can see here, he's basically packed a lot of war huts up here. There's no siege workshops here, so if you could take out this one, he's going to have to get the reinforcements from all the way into the base. So, I mean, that would be a great way to basically make a gain on that front, which would be phenomenal. Porchicks pouring in again, with the help of the USA stuff behind them in the form of artillery and regulars. Looks like Porchicks are going to have to basically start slicing and dicing through all this cav at this point. Okay, he's going all the way in. He's going all the way in for the artillery. He's even reaching the villagers. He's even reaching the villagers. What is this tactic? He's actually taking out villagers. I saw a settler actually die at that hacienda. He's actually reaching the economic part of that base now. I wonder if he's going to keep trying to do this pushing and how successful it might be. Because if they could blast these artillery and start running into the base like that and hitting the villagers, that might be a huge shift of an actual win imminent. You know, because right now it's been ping pong, like a lot of these same games are. Ping and pong. You're doing well, they're doing well. You're doing well, they're doing well. But it seems like if these porchicks can, you know, start running into the base like that, that's a huge sign that they're in trouble over here. And maybe Yellow France is going to have to commit more troops, because look right here, they're already starting to try to open a third front again through that little foresty section we saw before, actually using a big group of CBDs to actually cut through all these trees in this path right now. So yeah, basically looks like artillery is being added from France and USA, and then Russia's just providing all these porchicks and just charging in. Let's see if USA... Oh, there are culverins here. You know, let's see if the culverins can do a good job at aiming. If they can aim well, take out enough falcons to let a few porchicks through, it's going to be a huge mess for the civilians in the back of the base. Because as you can see, the buildings are starting to... look at how far they're getting. This is the back of Mexico's base. Two Portuguese do get through, and they will start sieging a hacienda over there. That is pretty big. You know, that's going to be pretty obnoxious to have to rebuild again, because he's going to have to put all the cows on again. It's going to be a huge mess. This is where this might be won or lost right here now. Looks like the Hods are indeed trying to push themselves. With all that offense they're doing on that side, it has given the Hods a chance to actually go up against their gate over here and start blasting their walls now. Also, Yellow is doing their third front now on this side. Cuirassiers trying to break through the forest here and start slicing through the Grenadiers. There is a patch of unfinished wall here that they could potentially break through and start doing some stuff, because they do have some mortars right here that they are trying to shell in from right on that side. And over here, looks like Portuguese are still going to try to pour in and protect all the artillery on this side over here. And what do we have on this side? We got Cuirassiers still pushing in, right? Is trying to do halberdiers, since halberdiers are a great melee unit and great for stopping any form of cav, even the splashy ones. Cuirassiers still pushing in. These mortars, again, a pretty good free reign of the red base, though, actually taking out a mill. And possibly could take out this mill, maybe this one. A lot of these mills could actually get wiped out, which would dislodge some of Red's economy and food, and at least deny them infantry and cavalry. They might still be able to do the artillery, but yeah, it's looking like a total mess. Now we see the Shinakos make a resurgence and actually start to push them back again. I mean, yep, and he's also repairing that hacienda that we saw get sieged before, too. So he was able to counteract that before actually losing a sort of farm eco. So it's not quite over for this team yet. They're actually making some pretty big gains on all sides. You know, the Hods are up to here now. They're actually starting to construct war huts, siege workshops throughout this area now instead of just the back over there. Also some native embassies there as well to get the native warriors in, because Orange does possess one of the native sites. Which one exactly? I think it was the House of Bourbon, right? Yeah, the House of Bourbon. So you got the ability to add in the Royal Dragoons, the Royal Musketeers, some pretty good units, you know, all things considered for natives. So I mean, they got a pretty good chance here to make a huge push, and they better not lose it, because if they can make a front right through the center here, they should be able to do pretty good over there. And looks like Yale France is still trying to develop their front on this side right now. Artillery is actually reaching a bit deeper now. The horse artillery are actually within targeting range of the barracks. However, they do need to watch out for halberdiers constantly being thrown at them. You know, halberdiers, I always say, one of those units we always overlook. They might be known for being anti-cav, but they can also be anti-artillery and anti-infantry too, just because of the scale and magnitude of their damage output. You know, because if you look at a halberdier in stats, the damage it does in melee, it's actually quite comparable to a hussar, without even the multipliers considered. So I mean, yeah, pretty dangerous unit, I would say. Right? Yeah, they're not pushing much farther than this line though, because you've got all these Gatling guns mixed in with everything. It's really hard to make a real push when you have so many Gatling guns protected by infantry here. And the Portuguese again pouring in, destroying that whole offense they made now. All those gains in soldiers are now lost because of the Portuguese. And these Portuguese are a real nuisance, you know what I mean? They really are a real problem. Now, one thing that you can't do during the live game, look at the resources. I can't tell if somebody's hungry or out of money, out of wood. I can't tell that stuff. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm assuming they have infinite of all three right now. And I haven't seen any chats from any of them for a while, so I'm assuming they all have enough resources to do their stuff. Yeah. It does look like on the scoreboard, though, that Blue Mexico has the smallest score, so I'm on their team. And then on the other side, it looks like Russia's pretty low. Probably because of all the spam they're doing, you know what I mean? This constant tap, 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 tap of the button is literally draining their resources then. Yeah, so I'm wondering if they can actually get this front done. It's a good question, actually. I don't even know at this point. I hope they can get this front done. Looks like, yeah, I mean, there's... Can they... Yeah, I think they're definitely holding on to this, though. This is definitely secure territory now. And they got their French ally in here, too, with stables. So, I mean, this is... Looks like a permanent win for them for right now. So, I think they did actually make some gains on one of these fronts, right? And now... Yellow France... at least is going to start constructing on this side. So it does look like they are making some gains over here. How about on this side? No gains here, at least in terms of territory, but presence-wise, it's about the same, you know. Presence-wise, they still have military right at this spot here. Actually using veteran pikemen. That could be a sign of lost resources if they're starting to use pikes with the halbs. You know, this is one of those maps where you never run out of trees on, so if you're looking to budget some of your food and coin, you can actually go with the pikes. You know, it's one of those alternatives you get that you might not get on another map that's more desert-like, for instance. Yeah, I mean, the projects are doing God's work here, you can tell. You can tell. Actually mixing in some recruits, I don't know if that was a mistake or not, maybe. Maybe not. But yeah, it looks like another push on the artillery there is going to deny it once again. Trying to use the soldados to try to shoot down an outpost. Almost got it done, but not quite. You got to hold on to this line, though, and let the Yellow France do his building over here. Where did the CBD go? Did he die? I see the foundations there, but I don't see the CBD, so I'm wondering if he croaked or not. Good chance he might have. Good chance he might have croaked on that side. Kuliser is still doing good work over here with wiping out whatever units come in. As soon as there's a gap, he's going to be able to roll in right in and go after those vills. Which might be now. Yep, he resigned. Yep. He probably ran out of resources. He is done. And now they're done. I mean, I don't think they're gonna... Let's see if they resign or not. I don't know. I mean, they probably should, because the Hods are gonna start plowing in now. From here, now they no longer have the support of the Red France, so it's gonna get a little daunting now, because it's literally just two players trying to do the work of three. It all depends on what Russia does. I think it's gonna come down to what Russia does, and they just resign too. Yep. Oh, yep, I'll say GG to him. Good match. Very good one. Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do. You know, that's why I usually publish my stuff, unfortunately, because of time issues. But, yep. Oh, it was a good match. Very good match, sir. Yep, he was the one that actually requested us to remove one of our players to make it fair and square and stuff, and I immediately jumped at the opportunity and said, you know, I'm a YouTuber, I cast games, and that's how I get my views and subs and stuff, so why don't I cast for you? Very good, yep. It's good that he'll know that he can watch our stuff, which is great. He was very happy and appreciative of me taking that initiative and keeping everything fair and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I ended up putting commentary in the end. Basically, you know, I figured it'd be better just to talk through it and skip all that stuff at the start, you know. If you're not going to participate in the match, it's better just to talk and just show the action. So, how long was that fight for? about half hour. Yeah, about 33 or so minutes of action. Not bad at all. You know, I think that was fairly good. I mean, if you look at the post game stats, I mean, yeah, I mean, the Hods actually got a lot of resources. Just saying, got more than the Red France did. Got more than the Yellow France did. Oh, big time. Tribute. Well, now this is something to look at right here. Look at all the tribute. Yeah, that's a lot. Big time. And what about military stuff? Yeah, that's what Russia does. They just send huge armies of stuff, like 4,000 units. Unbelievable. Yeah. Good battle, though. Good battle. Well, I think that's the end of that. I'll definitely do this again if we ever run into the same scenario, you know. So one glorious thing about having a channel to show your stuff on is you can take advantage of something that's normally sad, like wasting 40 minutes of a treaty for somebody to disconnect and turn it into something positive, you know. So thankfully I was here for that. Signing off now. See you again for some more AoE 3 stuff or whatever I got planned.